This is a review going back week 13, Wednesday. So we're finishing up the course with NAP pools and static NAP. And so let's take a look at some examples of what we talked about. So here we said we can put a server, give it some address here on VLAN 20, and we would create static NAT so that somebody from the outside could come in and actually access that server. And then we can create a pool so that NAT selects from the pool, and if the pool runs out or if port numbers run out, they could actually use port numbers too. So we were looking at this example where we're connected to the internet. We're still connected on 23 back when we were doing this here particular example. Over here we're talking about, we have this original address. Whoops. Let me move back there. And then we have this example. Addresses 50 through 100 because our net mask is right here. Let me show that again. So this is our mask, so this is what we can't change, right? First two octets. This one we leave the same so we don't have a problem with other addresses in our configuration. Here we talked about NAT overload, and if your ISP come in through your cable modem, port address translation, you know, in your house you have this little router switch access point. Now if you wanted to have a server, you could do what's called port forwarding to that server. You can have your internal address with this port number, and then it would match up to an external address with a port number. So if you wanted to access this server, you could use that and the port number. Alright, we talked, we have NAT version 6, large number of addresses, IPsec. We usually don't do this NAT from 4 to 6 or 6 to 4. Okay, then here we did this example. We kind of talked about a number of things. Here we could go DHCP here to get an address from the 20 network, and then we talked about putting a server on the inside, some static address on one of your VLANs, and then we changed and said now we can use a pool of addresses out on this network instead of the DHCP, and we gave you a pool, and then from that pool you could do a static NAT address like for a server, and I think we did an example of one of these right off the switch. Talk about capturing our configs, and we started talking about device management. Cisco Discovery Protocol, and here's one that's more generic where you can find the devices that are connected. Network Time Protocol, and syslog server gathering information. We did a lab where we worked on that in class. We talked about capturing the configs for backups. We talked about the iOS, the images, and we didn't have much time to really cover it, but we talked a little bit about password recovery. Clear devices, capture configs. Here's where I talked a little bit more about these specific things. I talked about managing passwords, restoring it. We practice that in class manually, or you can use TFTP servers. We talked about concerns about capturing the hashes for the passwords, where you store it. Somebody could see the design of your network if they would get a hold of these configs that you have somewhere as backups. Alright, so now we did some more configurations. We talked about creating a route out. We had your land, NAT on the inside, NAT on the outside, NAT on the inside, NAT on the outside, NAT pool, your NAT information, and then your access list. Alright. This is from the labs, from server, client, syslog server. Some of the students were able to get that done. I'm not sure if everybody did. You could still finish it if you have time. Alright, not much notes on this day. We had the Metalcraft tour on Thursday. We reviewed these items. We talked about iOS and Flash. And we gave out the skills based. That's pretty much it. Pretty much it for the year.